back to CarsAddiction.com. If you're new to the channel, I'm Ryan and we share car-related content every Wednesday and Sunday. Wednesday is a short snippet of any car encounter I come across, and Sunday is a full-fledged video of a car I own, a project I'm doing, or anything else car-related. For this week, we're talking about batteries and Porsches and how to access your battery if the battery failed. Now, this video is going to be a bit random, so make sure you see the description below for the chapters and make sure you jump into the related area you are interested into. And all the products I showed throughout this video will be in the description below to purchase. Now, if you own a Porsche, you know that to access the battery is electronically triggered. So if the battery fails, you are out of luck. So I'll be going through 3 techniques on how to get to this. So let's get started. Now, the most preferred method is what I like to use is a trickle charger connected to the cigarette lighter. Now this option is the most safest, but only if you have an electrical outlet on the outside. You have one right over there, and obviously the car is in the garage where you can leave it. This won't apply if the car is outside, but this one's most recommended because you can just charge the car and then drive it off and use it normally. Option, which is recommended by Porsche, is locate the fuse box in the driver's footwell. Let's remove the cover. Okay, grab the pliers that are provided with the car and pull in this red tab. Okay, pull that out and you can see that this has a positive connection leading directly to the battery. Now you would want to put some clamps onto this positive terminal and the negative clamp somewhere on the body. Usually this door hinge right over here will do. And this way you can jump start the car using another car or a booster, and that way you can use the hood to release it and get access to your frunk. And the last method, and the one that really you're going to be regret doing, and if you have to do it just in case you disconnected the battery or the battery is completely gone and you can't really do the other 2 methods, you would want to go onto the left hand side wheel. Now this will work with left hand and right hand drive cars, but it has to be this side of the car. You would want to remove the wheel. This will be a nightmare if I ever come to this situation because I have center locks. So we want to remove the wheel. Then you want to remove this liner over here. Then behind this liner, you can get access to a cable which will allow you to pull the emergency release. Now, another useful tip related to the battery is when the battery is dead, there is no way to get that key out. What you can do is pop up this plastic cover and we'll reveal this little button over there. What you then do is get something pointy. We're using this ballpoint pen. Press it in place and twist the key clockwise, and that will release your key. Now that we have access to the frunk, basically changing or getting access to the battery is quite simple. Okay, now obviously you would want to remove the front cover. That is very simple by twisting these knobs over here. That just comes off. And now one tip I like to mention is that when you're working on the battery and you're going to be lifting it out of the car, you don't want to be leaning over the fender. You might damage the fender or anything like that. What I do recommend is actually stepping into the frunk area and working from there, which is what we're going to do now. Now you have your negative side on your left hand side and your positive on the right hand side. Now the wires are both black in our instance. In case you got out the battery and you don't know which side was on which, it's easy to notify that the negative one is the one that is grounded to the body right over there. So that's simple. Now there is no actually strap holding the battery in. What does hold it is this bolt down here. Okay, that's a 13mm bolt and it's holding by that strap onto the battery, which has this kind of ledge over there which is held by this. Now removing this does not actually give you access to remove the battery. It's still in place. What you must do is actually unbolt the tray. The tray has 4 bolts, so 2 on this side Again, we remove them. Slide this to the left, and we have access to the other two bolts which we already removed. Now like this, we can actually remove the battery, and since we're already in the car, we can just safely remove it without leaning on the bodywork. Now you might see that I have a rag covering the alarm bell. What happens is that due to low voltage, sometimes the alarm goes crazy and you don't want that to be ringing in your ears. So I muffled it with a cloth just in case, and I have a headphones spare on the side to protect my ears until I get the new battery back in. Now once you have the battery out, you can give this a quick wash and clean it up a bit. And you also might use a vacuum cleaner to clear out that loose dirt and whatnot. So just quickly go over it with a vacuum cleaner. And all that. The reason it gets dirty here is because obviously you have access to the outwards from over here, and stuff might go in from the outside. So it's a good time to clean all that out, because maybe the next time you change the battery will be another 5 years, and it's good to remove all the dust. Now, if you're ever working on a car that has electronic release for where the battery compartment is, I cannot specify enough that you should actually cover the latch with, say, cloth or something so you don't accidentally close this. So you could have avoided all that procedure before removing the wheel or charging it with just like a simple method like that. Let's talk about new battery. Should you go for an approved Porsche battery or some specific manufacturer? The general answer is no, just get what you can find and what you're happy with. Generally speaking, you need to find one that has the terminals on the same side. So this is our old battery, so it's negative and positive on this side. Same with this one. It has to be exactly the same dimensions because it needs to fit in our tray. And it needs to have this ledge right over here so the clamp can bolt it on place. Now, the most important thing is these numbers over here. Now, it definitely has to be 12 volts. Don't get anything less or more. Has to be 12. For our old one, it is 12 as well. Now, this one's 800 amperes and this one is 740 amperes. That quite does not matter. That's how fast it delivers current to the starter motor and starts your car. Basically, this is the one, specified by the manufacturer. I had like an aftermarket one, but I couldn't find these specifics. So I just went back to the manufacturer recommendation. And this middle number, 8H, 80 ampere per hour, defines how long, the capacity of the battery before it goes dead. So this one's 80 and this one's 85. So this one can handle more things going on specifically before it goes dead. Again, unfortunately, I would have wanted something more heavy duty, but I couldn't find the right size and I went with this one. I do like Vart. I put it on all my cars and I can't recommend them enough. They usually serve me between 5 to 7 years. These specific ones have a 3-year warranty. Thank you for watching. Hope this video was useful. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Take care.